Hello, my name is Christine Norman with Life 365. That's LYFE for Living Your Faith Every Day. Today I want to share with you an excerpt from the lesson, Maximizing Your Past to Maximize Your Future. Everyone has a past, and let some tell it, the past is the last place that you want to go. The past is where your mistakes were made, your regrets were formed, and you vowed that once you made it out, you were not going back there. I want to submit to you today the possibility that the bad rap the past has gotten is not the whole truth of the matter. Past experiences need not feel shame or guilt, but rather serve as some good insight for the types of experiences that we have gained. Gone are the days when getting it right the first time is stressed or preferred. John Maxwell, the world's foremost leadership trainer, recently wrote a book entitled Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. We learn this as sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But when a lesson is involved, it's hardly a loss. Truth is, some of our greatest mistakes can turn into our greatest lessons when we evaluate the past experiences with a learning lens. So, in order to maximize the past, the first thing we have to do is revisit it. Is there anything back there that clues you in on who you are today? Are there experiences that have given your life a deeper meaning because you've gone through them? Are there people you relate to and understand better because of your experience? There is a gold mine of success that awaits those who leverage everything they've been through in the area of their vocation. And I don't mean just monetary success, but success in terms of a win for both sides. You're able to see your own growth and have full circle moments that come from winning in an area that you once struggled in, and your participants or those you teach are able to gain from your authenticity and your relevance. Truth is, success is about our mentalities just as much as it is about our methods and skills. You must have faith in who you are before you can convey it to others. Guilt and shame keep us from strolling up strong. You cannot show up like an exclamation point, feeling like a question mark. Throughout this lesson, there are homework assignments. What you can do is screenshot this so that you can go back and give it some serious consideration in your quiet time. The second thing to do in order to maximize the past is to resolve it. Anything you need to let go, anything you need to make peace with, anything that you need to come to terms with, you need to resolve. This is important. Whatever you hide, whatever you run from, whatever you fear getting out will control you. I once heard it explained that making peace with your past means accepting that it could never be any different. This is huge. Some of the reason that the past has gotten a bad name is because far too many people fail to move forward, waiting for something that happened years ago to turn out differently. Or they get stuck in the what ifs of the past. If that opportunity is gone, if the perceived best of anything has gotten away, it just was not meant to be. It's time to direct that energy to the here and now. It doesn't matter how dark your past, your future can be bright when you learn the lessons and grow forward. Here's another homework assignment. Be sure to screenshot it so that you can revisit it later. The last thing we do in order to maximize the past is reframing the negative history. I call it reframing because it's much like taking an old photograph and putting it in a new frame. Reframing is an important part of handling our past. We absolutely must remember that the past has gotten its reputation because it can be like quicksand. It can trap you and you end up stuck in the land of should have, would have, could have, and if only. It is for that reason that we must know what we're getting into beforehand. The past is fixed. We don't dwell there because there is work to be done in the present and in the future. Reframing is where we turn what we dislike about our past into an action plan for the future. If you're fixated on a loss, make a plan to do something different about it. Reframing is also where we stop romanticizing the past. The best is never behind us. Many men or women have gone back into relationships that did not serve them because they romanticized the past instead of remembering relationships for what they really are. Reframing is where we get real with ourselves. Reframing is also important with our difficult memories. It is when we are able to look at the good things that have come out of situations, even if the only good is that we made it out. Reframing is where we are sure to paint our histories so that we are victors and not victims. Reframing is where I didn't have much becomes look at all I achieved despite what I lacked. It is where I only had a small role becomes despite my title, I did a great work for that organization, or I took pride in the job that I did and was promoted. Reframing is where we see what was instead of what was not. It is where we see what we have become instead of what we were. However, we don't hide or get rid of the difficult parts of our stories because they indeed show us our progress. Here's the last homework assignment. Be sure to screenshot it so that you can do this very important work later. We've all been through experiences that we struggle to get over. I've even encountered people whose struggle was getting over the fact that they never really had to struggle and the stigma of being dismissed by others because of that. This world indeed makes sure that no one comes out unscathed. However, the good part about that is we learn so much about ourselves by the things that we have conquered and even fallen to. We learn where greater diligence or knowledge is needed, and we learn what things we simply must let go. If we are going to maximize our futures, we must maximize our experiences, and we do that by carefully examining them and learning what to repeat and what to delete. We are never fully and authentically ourselves until we embrace all that we've been through. Some of my greatest hurts have become the areas of my greatest compassion. Some of my biggest goofs have been the areas where I have seen the most progress. So those areas have become things that I can be proud of. This is not an easy process. This is not an overnight process. It's not even a once and for all process. We have to do this over and over as we meet new opportunities, new risks, and new failures present themselves. Owning our mistakes and redeeming them through the lessons that were won with all the battle scars is how we make the very best of all of who we are. The Bible calls this beauty for ashes. It explains how through God's purposes, the areas that have been burned down and reduced to ashes can be exchanged for something beautiful. Whatever you call it, make sure that you do it so that you can make the rest of you the very best of you. Let's get to it. For more information or inspiration to reach your destiny, visit www.lyfe365.com.